The Awakening. The quantum sensors aboard the Terran Defense Station Artemis detected the anomaly first. Dr. Elena Santos watched as the holographic display lit up with dozens of signatures emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Her augmented eyes quickly processed the data, heart rate increasing as the implications became clear. Command: this is Artemis Station. We have multiple unknowns entering the system. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. The response came instantly through her neural link. Acknowledged Artemis. Security Council is convening. Maintain observation protocols. Humanity had prepared for this moment for over a century. After achieving faster-than-light travel in 2157, they discovered a galaxy teeming with life and conflict. Rather than announce their presence, Earth's leaders made an unprecedented decision. They would watch, learn, and prepare in absolute secrecy. The approaching vessels belonged to the Vex Collective, a machine civilization that had been steadily expanding through the galaxy, converting or destroying any organic life they encountered. Their ships were massive crystalline structures that seemed to defy physics, each one capable of devastating an entire planet. Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, the Security Council gathered in their quantum-shielded chamber. Admiral James Chen studied the tactical displays with his cybernetically enhanced vision. They've detected our industrial output, but haven't found our stealth systems. They think we're pre-spaceflight. Then let them come closer, General Sarah Williams replied, her neural implants already connecting to Earth's defense grid. Operation Bright Shield is ready. The Vex fleet entered the inner solar system, their crystalline ships reflecting the sun's light like artificial stars. Their first transmission was broadcast on all frequencies. Organic civilization detected. Prepare for integration or elimination. What the Vex couldn't know, was that humanity had spent decades studying their technology. Every engagement they'd had with other species had been meticulously analyzed. Earth's defenses had been specifically designed to counter their capabilities. The Vex ships approached Mars, expecting to find primitive colonies or automated mining operations. Instead, they encountered nothing. The entire solar system appeared largely uninhabited, despite clear signs of technological activity. Then Elena gave the signal. They've crossed the Helios line. All defensive systems are in optimal range. Admiral Chen opened a channel to all Earth forces. All units, execute Operation Bright Shield. Show them why humanity chose to hide its strength. The space around the Vex fleet suddenly warped as hundreds of quantum mines materialized, previously cloaked by technology far beyond what the machines thought possible. Simultaneously, orbital defense platforms emerged from their dimensional pockets around Earth and Mars, their weapons already charged. The Vex barely had time to register the threat before the first salvos struck. Quantum-tipped missiles phased through their shields as if they didn't exist. Graviton beams twisted their crystalline hulls into impossible shapes. Ships that tried to retreat found themselves trapped in artificially generated gravity wells. Multiple direct hits, Elena reported, watching through Artemis's sensors. Their adaptive algorithms are attempting to compensate, but our randomized weapon frequencies are preventing effective countermeasures. The Vex flagship, a massive crystalline structure larger than any human vessel, managed to launch a counterattack. Energy beams capable of destroying continents lashed out at Earth, only to be caught and redirected by quantum shield arrays that had been centuries in development. Admiral Chen opened a broadcast channel. This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Force. You attacked a civilization that has spent generations preparing for this moment. We could have revealed ourselves peacefully, but you chose aggression. Now witness the consequence. The battle lasted less than an hour. When it was over, the mighty Vex fleet had been reduced to crystalline debris floating in space. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy not with diplomacy, but with an overwhelming display of military power. As Elena watched the aftermath from Artemis Station, she couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and concern. Humanity had proven itself more than capable of defending against the galaxy's threats. But now that their existence was known, everything would change. The Security Council was already preparing for the diplomatic fallout. Other civilizations would soon learn that a highly advanced species had been silently watching from the shadows. Some would fear them, others would seek alliance, but all would have to accept a new reality. Humanity was no longer hiding, and they were far more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. Silent Watchers. The Galactic Council's emergency session convened within hours of the Vex defeat. Representatives from 1,000 species gathered in their quantum-linked chamber, their voices a chorus of concern and fear. The surveillance feeds showed what remained of the Vex fleet, once considered unstoppable, now scattered across Earth's solar system. High Counselor Zorax, her crystalline form shimmering with anxiety, addressed the assembly. "We have confirmed that a previously unknown species has destroyed an entire Vex battle group. More disturbing is the evidence that they have been watching us, studying us, for decades without detection." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had considered themselves at the pinnacle of technological achievement now faced the reality that they had been observed by something far more advanced. Meanwhile, on Earth, General Williams led a diplomatic delegation through the quantum vault, humanity's most closely guarded secret. The massive underground facility contained detailed records of every alien civilization they had monitored over the past century. "This section contains our analysis of Xarixian energy weapons," she explained to the visiting alien diplomats. "We developed countermeasures 50 years ago. And here, complete technical specifications of Drachnid bioships. We've had working prototypes for decades." The aliens moved through the facility in stunned silence. The scope of human preparation was beyond anything they had imagined. Every major technological advancement, every military strategy, every diplomatic crisis had been meticulously documented and studied. In orbit, Admiral Chen supervised the integration of captured Vex technology. "Their quantum processors are impressive," he noted to Dr. Santos, who had been promoted after the battle. "But they relied too heavily on predictable algorithms. That was their weakness." Elena nodded, her augmented vision analyzing the crystalline components. "They never considered that someone might develop technology specifically to counter theirs." The arrogance of machine logic. The vault's next section revealed humanity's greatest achievement, the quantum mirror network. Thousands of cloaked satellites positioned throughout the galaxy, capable of observing alien civilizations without detection. The diplomatic delegation watched recordings of their own secret military exercises, their classified research facilities, their most private council sessions. "Why reveal this now?" asked Ambassador Krell, his scaled skin shifting colors with emotion. "Why show us the extent of your surveillance?" "Because the galaxy is changing," General Williams replied. "The Vex were just the beginning. We've detected other threats approaching from the outer rim, things that make the Vex look primitive in comparison. Humanity chose isolation to prepare not just for our own defense, but for the protection of all sentient life." Deep within the quantum vault, they'd reached the strategic planning center. Holographic displays showed thousands of potential conflict scenarios, each one analyzed and countered years in advance. The aliens recognized their own military strategies, now thoroughly dissected and neutralized. "Your species," Ambassador Krull struggled to find the words. "You've been playing a game none of us knew existed." "Not a game," Admiral Chen corrected, joining them. "A responsibility. Earth's history is filled with conflicts that nearly destroyed us. When we reached the stars, we vowed not to repeat those mistakes. We would be prepared. We would be strong enough not just to survive, but to protect." The delegation reached the vault's final chamber, where a massive quantum computer processed real-time data from across the galaxy. "Right now," General Williams explained, "this system is tracking 17 potential extinction-level threats to various civilizations. We've already developed countermeasures for each one." Ambassador Krull's scales shifted to a deep blue of realization. "The Vex attack. You knew it was coming. We knew they would eventually detect Earth, Elena confirmed. We could have stopped them sooner, but we needed to demonstrate our capabilities publicly. The galaxy needed to know that there are forces capable of standing against any threat. As the delegation prepared to return to the Council, Admiral Chen made humanity's position clear. We hid our strength not out of fear, but out of prudence. Now that the galaxy knows we exist, we offer our protection to any civilization that seeks peaceful coexistence. But those who choose aggression will learn why humanity spent a century preparing for war. The message would soon spread across the galaxy. Earth was no longer watching from the shadows. The silent guardians had revealed themselves, and the balance of power would never be the same. Operation Sunbreak. The Vex Collective's response to their defeat was predictable. They launched their entire defensive fleet toward Earth. 10,000 crystalline ships emerged from hyperspace, their quantum signatures lighting up human sensor networks across 3 sectors. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the TDS Hyperion, watching the tactical display with augmented calm. All ships, execute Operation Sunbreak. Show them what happens when you cornered humanity. The human fleet appeared to materialize from nowhere. 500 vessels of pitch-black metal that absorbed light rather than reflecting it. Each ship carried weapons that could crack planets, powered by contained singularities, and crewed by humans who had trained their entire lives for this moment. Multiple Vex formations detected. Elena reported from her new position as Fleet Intelligence Officer. They're attempting to establish their neural network. Perfect, Chen smiled. Deploy the quantum disruptors. Microscopic drones, invisible to Vex sensors, swarmed through space. They carried specialized algorithms designed to infiltrate and corrupt the Vex's collective consciousness. The machines had never encountered an enemy that could attack them on a cognitive level. The Vex flagship, a massive crystalline structure spanning 20 kilometers, launched the first attack. Energy beams capable of shattering moons lashed out at the human fleet. But humanity had spent decades preparing for exactly this scenario. Quantum shields flickered into existence, not just blocking the attacks but absorbing their energy. The stolen power was redirected through specialized conduits, emerging as concentrated beams of the Vex's own weapons technology. Their adaptive algorithms are attempting to compensate, Elena announced, switching to randomized frequency patterns. The human fleet split into smaller attack groups, each one targeting different Vex formations with constantly changing tactics. Gravitational weapons twisted space itself, crushing crystalline ships into impossible shapes. Temporal disruptors trapped others in localized time dilation fields, making them easy targets for conventional weapons. The Vex tried to adapt, their machine intelligence processing countless scenarios per second. But humanity had studied their response patterns for decades. Every counter-strategy the machines attempted had already been analyzed and neutralized in simulated battles. They're attempting to retreat, Elena reported. Quantum signatures indicate they're charging their drive cores. Activate the gravity wells, Chen ordered. No survivors. Hidden generators throughout the battlefield created a web of artificial gravity, trapping the Vex fleet in normal space. Their sophisticated drives, capable of crossing galaxies, couldn't break free from fields specifically designed to counter their technology. The machines, facing defeat for the first time in their collective memory, attempted something desperate. Their ships began to combine, crystal structures merging into a massive entity that dwarfed even their flagship. Energy readings off the scale, Elena warned. They're channeling power from every remaining ship into a single weapon. Chen's augmented mind calculated the threat in microseconds. All ships, execute pattern Omega. Focus fire on these coordinates. The human fleet moved with perfect synchronization, their formations creating a 3-dimensional geometric pattern. Each ship's quantum core linked with its neighbors, establishing a network that mirrored the Vex's own collective consciousness. The machines fired their combined weapon, a beam of pure quantum energy that could have destroyed a solar system. It struck the human formation and seemed to vanish, absorbed by a quantum field that had been specifically designed for this moment. "Return fire," Chen commanded. "Full power." The absorbed energy, combined with the output of 500 human ships, erupted from the fleet's formation. The beam struck the merged Vex entity at its core, overwhelming its crystalline structure with its own power signature. The explosion was visible across 3 sectors of space. When the quantum interference cleared, nothing remained of the mighty Vex armada except scattered crystalline debris and rapidly dissipating energy signatures. Alina's sensors confirmed what they already knew: no survivors. "Admiral, the Vex collective consciousness in this sector has been completely destroyed." Chen opened a channel to Earth Command. "Operation Sunbreak complete. The Vex threat has been neutralized." He paused, watching the debris field. "Send word to the Galactic Council. Tell them humanity stands ready to protect any civilization threatened by those who would destroy rather than coexist." The battle would be remembered across the galaxy as the day the machines learned fear. But more importantly, it marked the beginning of a new era, one where humanity emerged from the shadows not as conquerors, but as guardians of peace through overwhelming strength. The Council's judgment. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from over 10,000 civilizations gathered to debate humanity's status in the galactic community. The defeat of the Vex Collective had sent shockwaves through known space. High Counselor Zarax's crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy as she addressed the human delegation. "Your species hid among us for a century, watching, analyzing, preparing for war. How can we trust a civilization that built its foundation on secrecy?" Admiral Chen stood before the assembly, his augmented presence commanding attention. "We hide our strength no longer. Every record of our observations, every technological advancement, every strategic analysis, we offer it freely to the Council." The chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had considered themselves technologically superior now faced evidence that humans had surpassed them decades ago. Others saw opportunity in alliance with Earth's formidable military power. "You claim to be protectors," the Drachnid representative hissed, "yet you possessed weapons that could have saved billions from the Vex years ago. How many died while you watched and waited?" Elena stepped forward, her neural implants projecting data for all to see. "We intervened precisely when the probability of success was highest. Acting earlier would have revealed our capabilities without achieving total victory. The Vex would have adapted, evolved, become stronger." The strategic simulations played out before the Council. Thousands of scenarios where premature intervention led to prolonged war and greater casualties. The human calculations were cold, precise, and undeniably logical. Ambassador Krell, now Earth's strongest advocate, addressed his fellow council members. "I have seen their quantum vault. They prepared not just to fight, but to protect. Every weapon, every defense, was designed to preserve life while neutralizing threats." The Council reviewed footage from Operation Sunbreak. They watched human ships absorb rather than deflect energy attacks, preventing collateral damage to nearby systems. They saw precision strikes that disabled rather than destroyed when possible, and quantum fields that contained rather than amplified explosive forces. "Humanity offers a choice," General Williams announced. "Accept us as allies. Allow us to share our defensive technologies, our strategic analyses, our protective capabilities. We will stand as guardians against any force that threatens peaceful civilization. And if we refuse?" The hive mind of Sector 7 pulsed with challenge. "If we declare humanity a threat to galactic stability?" Admiral Chen's response was calm but carried unmistakable weight. "Then you would repeat the mistake of the Vex, assuming that because we prefer peace, we fear war." The Council deliberated for 7 standard days. They reviewed centuries of human history, witnessing how Earth's nations had turned from constant warfare to unified purpose. They studied the precision and restraint shown in the Vex engagement, recognizing a species that had mastered not just the technology of war, but the wisdom of when to use it. Finally, High Counselor Zorax announced the Council's judgment. Humanity is formally recognized as a Level 1 civilization, with full rights and responsibilities thereof. Furthermore, we accept their offer of protective alliance and technological exchange. The decision would reshape galactic society. Human defense systems were integrated into vulnerable worlds. Earth's strategic algorithms were adapted to predict and prevent conflicts before they began. The era of humanity hiding their strength was over, replaced by an age where their power served as a shield for all peaceful species. As the council session ended, Alina's quantum sensors detected a new anomaly at the galaxy's edge. Something vast and ancient was stirring, far more dangerous than the Vex had ever been. She shared the data with Admiral Chen, who simply nodded. Humanity had emerged at precisely the right moment, because they had foreseen this threat decades ago, and they were ready. Guardians of Peace. The ancient threat emerged from dark space exactly as humanity's predictive models had forecast. The entity, as it came to be known, was a cosmic horror that had devoured countless galaxies across billions of years. Now it faced something unprecedented. A galaxy united under humanity's protection. Admiral Chen stood aboard the newly commissioned TDS Unity, Earth's most advanced vessel. The ship represented the culmination of human ingenuity combined with technological contributions from 1,000 alien species. All defense grids report ready, Alina announced, her consciousness linked to the Galactic sensor network. The entity is approaching the outer rim. The combined fleet of the Galactic Alliance stretched across 3 sectors. Ships of every design and species flew in formations developed by human tactical computers. Each vessel had been upgraded with Earth's quantum shielding and weapons technology. The entity is trying to communicate, Alina reported. The message transcended normal space, resonating directly in the minds of every sentient being in the galaxy. This realm will be consumed. Resistance is meaningless. Chen opened a channel to all ships. This is the moment humanity prepared for. Not just to fight, but to protect. Execute Operation Eternal Shield. The fleet moved with perfect synchronization. Quantum fields linked ships of different species into a single defensive network. The entity struck with weapons that could unmake reality itself, but found its attacks absorbed and redirected by barriers specifically designed to counter cosmic-scale threats. The battle that followed would be remembered for millennia. The entity unleashed horrors from beyond space and time, only to find that humanity had prepared countermeasures for threats they had only theorized might exist. Every attack was met with precisely calculated defense. Every cosmic horror faced weapons designed to unravel its impossible existence. In the end, it wasn't just human technology that won the day. It was the combined strength of a galaxy united under a common cause. Species that had once been enemies now fought side by side, their unique abilities complementing each other in ways the entity couldn't counter. The final strike came from the TDS Unity itself. The ship channeled the combined energy of 10,000 vessels through quantum processors designed by a dozen different species. The resulting beam struck the entity's core, unmaking it with its own cosmic power. As reality settled back to normal, Admiral Chen addressed the fleet. This victory belongs to all of us. Humanity emerged from hiding not to dominate, but to ensure that life itself would endure. We are all guardians now. The Galactic Council's next session was historic. The alliance forged in battle was formalized into the Galactic Defense Pact. Earth's preparation and foresight had saved countless civilizations, and now those same civilizations stood ready to face future threats together. Alina's sensors still detected anomalies at the galaxy's edge. Other entities, other threats, stirring in the void. But now they would face not just humanity's strength, but the combined might of a galaxy that had learned to trust, fight, and protect as one. The age of hiding was over. The era of humanity's solitary watch had ended. In its place stood something greater. A unified galaxy where strength meant not just the power to destroy, but the wisdom to protect and preserve. The silent guardians had fulfilled their destiny, not as conquerors, but as teachers, defenders, and champions of life itself.